In response to President Biden referring to President Xi Jinping of China as a dictator, President Xi had this to say in response.
I call the wind Messiah. If I do not have fan, then smoke get in your eyes.
Coming at you from the Skyhammer studio here on Cities 92.9, the news and talk of Bloomington Normal. This is the El Donzo and Deez show.
You have insanity in my earpiece.
I'm El Donzo.
I'm Deez.
You know what? We're just going to get this out of the way right now. Deez, how was your week?
Well, before I get into my week, let me just say,
you look great, by the way.
And I can't overstate this. Really hungover right now. Had a benefit last night for a dear friend of mine that's going through very aggressive breast cancer. She spent a good part of her early 20s working as a bartender. So in Peoria, the club scene, she had obviously a lot of friends, a lot of people I haven't seen in a long time. And it was a good time. And
good celebration of life, right?
Yeah.
Good.
And she's a fighter, you know. We're pulling forward. We raised a lot of money for her. That being said, shout out to Kat for allowing us to record this late. Otherwise, I wasn't going to be here at all. Kind of part of me wishes that she wouldn't have. But
I was literally being. He said he couldn't do the show, so you have to do it solo. I was going to get Kev Ferris from Speechless to come on and do it with me, and I stroke of genius. And I got a hold of the manager over at the radio station. Said, "Hey, can we do this? Can you load it up Saturday?" She goes, "Yeah, well, we can do that." And I told Deez, and he was just pleasant as a peach about it. No, I was actually getting cussed a little bit.
And if you watch us on YouTube, youtube.com/ElDonzoDeez, you know that I'm an idiot and I always wear sunglasses because I'm trying to hang on to what
I think you
ounce
have
of cool I have left. And I usually have on a big light in front of me. The light is not on today, but the sunglasses still are because, I feel like hell. And again, this is currently like 5:30 p.m. on Friday evening, and I still feel this bad. So you do the math. As far as the rest of the week goes, not bad. Worked a little bit here and there. Did actually pick up a pretty big job down in Champaign. That'll keep me busy through Christmas, so that's a plus. Christmas is saved. No coal for the kids that I don't have, but other than that, I'm just here.
Well, it's glad to see that your cat didn't attempt to kill you this week.
Not yet, but
that's nice.
The weekend ain't over yet.
That's nice. Before we get on, because I've got literally, folks, I come across this story. Of course, Joe Biden had this APEC thing out in San Francisco.
Sponsor?
I'm getting to that.
Oh, okay.
Why don't you just hang back and enjoy your hangover? So Joe Biden had this APEC thing out in San Francisco, brought President Xi Jinping out there for this. And there's so many stories with it, and I want to get into that. But there's one thing we're going to touch on that literally had me cackling as I was reading it. It was just the absurdity of it and the situation and the uncomfort, specifically with Antony Blinken, that I want to get into that. I'm going to play the clip. We can't show it to you, but I'm going to play it, and we're going to describe it and give you a play-by-play. But before we do that, I want to give a shout-out to the sponsor for our show, EnviroSeal. If you have sunken concrete slabs like patios or driveways, give these guys a call. They can come out, and they can pump up the slabs. They use polyurethane spray foam to jack them up, level them out, and those slabs, concrete patios, driveways, are ready to use the same day. Within, I think it's 12 hours, they're ready to be driven on or used. They also do spray foam commercial and residential insulation as well. So if you need insulation or you need to start jacking those slabs up, give them a call, EnviroSeal, at 309-275-6303. So we were talking before we went into that, this APEC thing out in San Francisco, which, by the way, they cleaned up San Francisco for Xi Jinping. Did you see that?
By cleaned up, do you mean they set the homeless camps on fire?
No, they moved the homeless camps. They cleaned everything up. It looked great for Xi Jinping.
Yeah, but didn't they set them on fire? Wasn't there a fire?
Oh, there was a fire somewhere, but it was unrelated to that.
Oh,
yeah,
sure
it was.
it was.
Yeah, whatever. It's just like the fires in Hawaii. Who knows what's going on with those things, right? But anyway, Gavin Newsom actually came out and said, "Hey, if you think we cleaned this up just because President Xi Jinping was coming, then you're right." I mean, he just fessed up to it, which kind of goes back into that thing. I've said this a couple times already. It's one thing for politicians to lie. Politicians lie, they fib, they stretch stuff out, they just tell anybody what they want to hear. When they start telling the truth is when you got to start worrying about it. They're blatantly coming out right now and just spilling the beans. Gavin Newsom, for that matter. They went there, they cleaned it up, and when Xi Jinping's gone, it's going to go right back to being a sticks hole, in my opinion. But this one thing that I'm not even sure if I'll be able to make it through it. Okay? Now, if you go back to, I think it was June. June. Biden called President Xi a dictator. Okay? And that really pissed off the Chinese Foreign Ministry. Okay? And this actually caused an even bigger rift. As you know now, America and China really don't have a back channel of communications between the militaries. Same thing with America and Russia at this point. So the whole point of the APEC thing, according to Joe Biden, was to get that back channel going and to do whatever his Chinese masters tell him to do. So back in June when he said that, the ministry called his remarks extremely absurd and irresponsible, blatant political provocation, and they said they go totally against facts and seriously violate diplomatic protocol and severely infringe on China's political dignity. Okay? That was back in June. So Biden comes on. Biden's at this conference. This is after the fact. And I'm just going to play this for you real quick. And I'm going to tell you why this got me cackling. I'm going to play it for you. Let's pull this up. Let's get the soundbite one and roll it.
Yes.
And Mr. President, after today, would you still refer to President Xi as a dictator? This is a term that you used earlier this year.
Well, look, he is. I mean, he's a dictator in the sense that he is a guy who runs a country that is a communist country that is based on a form of government totally different than ours. Anyway,
now the funny part of this is Secretary of State Antony Blinken is sitting in the chair, and as soon as he calls Xi a dictator, remember, they're trying to kowtow to China right now. You've got this guy up there, Joe Biden, doesn't have a damn clue where he's at. You think Donald Trump's bad about cannot control his mouth? Joe Biden's like a loaded pistol being waved around by a drunk. You just don't know when that trigger's going to get pulled, and that trigger got pulled. So everything they wanted to do to get on Xi's good side, okay, and keep China appeased, they erased it. Now, the proof's in the pudding. If you watch the video of Antony Blinken sitting there, as soon as he says, yes, he's a dictator and goes into his spiel, Antony Blinken is visibly upset. He kind of jerks his head, and he starts, you ever see people get nervous and they start doing that thing with their hands like that? Antony Blinken sat back and started doing that. You could tell this dude's worked up. I mean, it was one of those things to where if there was nobody else watching, Antony Blinken would have been like, dude, you're such a dumbass. What? Stop. Shut up. Dude, I can only imagine all the people that were in that conference just really wanting to just do one of those face plants, that were on his team.
Face palm.
Or face palms, excuse me. Probably wanted to face plant their head into the concrete, to be honest with you. And I just found it so funny. It reminds me, and I texted somebody else this too, the Scary Movie franchise. Remember they had Leslie Nielsen playing the President of the United States?
I think he played a few parts in it, but yeah.
Yeah, but most memorably to me, the President. Leslie Nielsen played the President of the United States in these movies. And you want to talk about a bumbling, idiotic fool. But the thing is, that's real life right now in America. It's like we have Leslie Nielsen playing slapstick, physical comedy.
At this point, I'd rather have Leslie Nielsen.
I think we would too. Let's bring back Zombie Nielsen 2024. What do you think?
Yeah, and I do understand that he's dead. I would still choose that.
over Joe Biden. Absolutely.
I mean, we've already got a
100%.
corpse in the White House. What's one more?
You know what? You make jokes, but I don't know how much worse this could get. I really don't. And to top it all off, Joe Biden made this pact with China this week that is attempting to make this pact. They talked about it, and I think they're putting it through to where they're both going to stop AI controlling the military. They're going to stop putting in money and research for AI in their military.
Sure they are.
Yeah, well, here's the problem with that. We are so much more advanced than China is, I guess, on the AI. It's like kneecapping us. And, China is going to do this anyway. We've got this other thing with fossil fuels. Biden's wanting to make a deal with China about fossil fuels, and we're going to go more green, and we're going to get rid of fossil fuels. And, China and America is going to do away with coal and natural gas. Kiss my... that China's not going to do this. This dumb son of a bitch in the White House.
Do you honestly think that we're ahead of China in AI technology?
That's everything that I've read, yes.
I don't buy it.
Well, regardless, here's the thing. Whether we're ahead or not, this is what's going to happen. This is like a nuclear arms race. Whether we're ahead or not doesn't matter. What we will do is we will stop the AI race, and China will say they stopped it, but China will keep going. People don't get this. China just wants to eradicate the United States as a power. I don't think they want to get rid of us. They need us. We're useful idiots to them. But between that and wanting to get rid of the fossil fuels and making this deal with China where we're both going to scale back coal and all this others, I'm not shocked. I mean, I would be pissed off if I didn't see this coming.
Right.
But I did. But welcome Xi Jinping right into San Francisco. All right, we got more coming up here on the El Donzo and Deez show when we get back. I'm El Donzo.
I'm Deez.
You seem like you're hanging in there, Deez.
I'm trying, man.
I mean, you're doing all right. You still sound good. Well, you don't
Not
sound
really.
great. Yeah, you're getting in there. In the last segment, we were talking about this APEC thing, which is the Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation Summit, which was in San Francisco this week. So here's the thing. Biden and Xi, I guess, are going to agree to limit AI use in the systems that control and deploy nuclear weapons, as well as the technologies used in autonomous weapon systems such as drones. Now, getting back to this, my whole point is that I've said this before, right? All roads lead to China. Anything we do, I can always find a way that it benefits China somehow. And I've proven that time and time and time again. What he's doing is kneecapping the United States in favor of China. Now, we are so close to war with China. We're so close to China going in and taking Taiwan. They still do this. They still rile everything up, send these jets over to Taiwan. They still do these faux blockades of Taiwan in the Straits. And then they pull back, then they do it again, and they're just wearing us down. They're wearing Taiwan down. They're getting them complacent. One of these days, they're going to go in there and take it. Now, Xi Jinping also said that he looks for a peaceful reunification with Taiwan, but they'll take it by force if they have to. We're going to end up getting involved with that. So it just blows my mind that we roll out the red carpet for Xi Jinping. Now, do I think it's great, even with our adversaries, to have that backdoor line of communications? I think it's great. All right. But on the other hand, this isn't worth it. This is not worth it. AI is right up there with nukes. And Deez, you and I have talked about this. There's a nuclear arms race and then there's an AI arms race. And that's what we're in the middle of right now. And we are literally just, what am I hearing?
Nothing anymore.
Okay. All right. I heard something in the background.
Yeah.
It's probably you playing something. You're probably over there getting ready to pass out, aren't you?
I'm thinking about it, but no, I forgot to mute my laptop.
Okay, that's okay. Accidents happen on the El Donzo and Deez show, and we get past it. And there's actually an accident that I had last weekend, a misstep that I want to clear up, but we'll get into that later. So this AI thing. So Biden wants to kneecap us and give this to China. Because do you really think China is going to stop advancing their AI program?
No.
No, absolutely
Zero
not.
chance.
The fact that they even do this. Now, here's another one, too. which absolutely gets me. Same deal, okay? It's not AI, it's not nuclear, but we know that China and Russia are two of the biggest proponents of the United States Going Green initiative. They pump all this money into these green movements and to get everything green and to go to solar and go to wind power, which we see. We've got, how many wind turbines do we have out here? Probably what? I mean, within 10 miles of the studio.
I gotta think it's close to 30 or better.
It's got to be at least 30
within like eye line.
And folks, we've never counted them, so I mean, we're not really prepared. Look, there's no way we're going to stand, get on my roof of the studio. And
a lot. Let's just leave it at
There's
that.
a lot. First of all, they're noisy for the farmers. They're eyesores. I think they do like a 20-year lease on the per acre, right? And then after they're done with them, they just leave them. I mean, it takes a lot of fossil fuels to make these things.
They'll eventually tear them down, and then they'll bury them because they've got no other way of getting rid of them.
Yeah,
the blades. They can reuse and recycle the tower, but there's no way to dispose of the blades, and their lifespan isn't very long anyway.
Now, I got a question, Deez. You've lived in the same area I've lived, which is right around the studio here, the Skyhammer studio. Now, we remember when they put those wind turbines in and they got all these people to go for it, and they had to go to the county and all this other stuff, and they said they said when they did that, it was going to reduce electric costs. Did they not?
Initially, yeah.
Yeah. Has it reduced the cost of has it reduced your energy bill at all?
No, all that stuff goes to Chicago.
Yeah, it all goes to Chicago. And it's bull sticks anyway.
Yeah. My dad actually helped the road construction to each tower.
I got a big case of the red ass with this. When it comes to can you kill a bald eagle, Deez? Can you kill a bald eagle? Is that
in a fist fight?
No. Come on. Can you shoot it with an arrow? Can you shoot it with a gun?
No,
you cannot. I think it's a felony.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, it's definitely a felony.
That's an endangered species.
Yeah,
protected. Species.
Well, it's also the.
I don't think it's endangered anymore, but it's protected because it's
pretty damn close. But it's,
no, they made a hell of a recovery, but it's still a felony. You can't kill him. It's
still a felony. You cannot kill him. All right. Now, but wait a minute. If you're a company that has wind turbines, you can do it. You are allowed
a lot of birds. If you have
exactly. You are allowed, and you know what? I know you're allowed a certain number. I think it's up to like each turbine can kill like 20 bald eagles a year. That's their limit. They can bag their limit there.
And who the hell's gonna know?
Oh, they'll figure it out. But my point is, you and I can't mess up. I don't think we'd mess up and actually kill a bald eagle. The point is, we can't kill a bald eagle. We'll go to prison, federal prison, I think it is for. Or we'll get fined out the wazoo for it. But these wind turbines, that's okay. You can go green. You can kill all the bald eagles you want as long as we're doing green stuff, which doesn't benefit anybody anyway.
We should take out more of the Canadian geese. Let's talk about an invasive species.
Right? Those things are like rodents down here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, good eating if the sticks ever hits a fan. Wouldn't you agree?
For sure.
Anyway, so here's the other thing that I wanted to get into with this Z stuff, the China thing. I guess a lot of energy experts are kind of worked up, and rightfully so, because the State Department announced that it struck a deal with China, pledging to accelerate the substitution for coal, oil, and gas generation with green energy sources like wind and solar power. The nations, which account for nearly half of global greenhouse gas emissions, I guess, also agreed to deepen policy exchanges on reducing carbon emissions in various sectors like power, industry, buildings, and transportation across their economies. So what they actually said, let me translate this for you, in moronese into actual lay terms, is Joe Biden said, yeah, we're going to spend all this money and cripple ourselves in the energy sector. Meanwhile, buying all this bull sticks green stuff from China because it's cheap. And China, you just go ahead and keep using coal and natural gas and oil, and you keep strengthening yourself, and we'll keep weakening ourselves. It's pretty much, that's translated what they said. What do you think, Deez?
Yeah.
That's it. That's absolutely it. In a nutshell. This is treason is what this is. Now, there's so many things, and you've said it before, when we ask, is there evidence of this? Is there enough evidence to impeach Joe Biden? I think it was your remark, which is like, well, of course there's evidence to throw him in jail right now.
Yeah, when you, like I said, there's a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit there. But when you put all the pieces of the puzzle on the table, you pretty much get the picture.
Now, another thing I wanted to talk about, too, since we got through this China thing with Joe Biden, that does piss me off, folks. We're literally getting our country sold out from under us. All right? China wants to take us over. They've been doing this when we're buying farmland, okay, buying businesses, setting up shop. They've been doing this for decades. And that's their stick. So when we go back to looking at, how many business trips on Air Force Two that Joe Biden and Hunter Biden took while he was vice president, and all these connections with these Chinese energy firms that Hunter Biden had. And we know by now, we know this for a fact, that China has been blackmailing these politicians for decades. They've been embedding in. They've been getting dirt on them. If this doesn't prove that Joe Biden is owned by the Chi-Coms, then nothing does. This guy is the president of the free world. This guy supposedly got 81 million votes. That's bullstick. And here's another thing we're going to get into a little bit later, next segment or two on this show, is the polls. Have you looked at the polls lately?
No.
They're even worse for Biden than they were last week on the show. Even worse. And it's just like, pinch me, am I dreaming? And then you've got all these people coming out about DeSantis and Nikki Haley. But Trump is...
Do you know who Michael Rappaport is?
Yeah, I've heard the name, yeah.
He's an actor. If you saw him, you'd instantly recognize
him. Yes,
I
know who he... yep, I know him now, yep.
Anyway, he is a huge never Trumper.
Mm-hmm.
He actually posted a video today, I believe, on X or whatever, stating that, at this point, voting for Trump is not off the table, given what's going on with all this anti-Semitism stuff and pro-Hamas, pro-Palestinian. He's actually considering voting for Trump, who he has never had a good word to say about in the last 8 years, over the fact that the Biden administration is letting all this go down.
But that goes back to it, though. That goes back to it. Trump actually had 4 years. This is the evil right now is Donald Trump. You know what's going to happen when he gets in there. He's going to go after the people that went after him. Yes, of course, we know that. But he's also going to shut off the southern border. He's going to put tariffs on China. He's going to do everything he can to make sure that the American working person's paycheck goes farther than it ever has under the Joe Biden administration. They may not like his tweets. They may not like the sticks he says.
He doesn't tweet anymore, so that's...
No, he doesn't. He's got True Social, but he'll probably be on that too. But my point is, everybody's going, okay, we know what Trump can do. Do we want to risk voting for another Democrat? Do we want to risk voting for a Republican that we really don't know what's going to happen with him? Not at this point. All bets are off. Go with the safe one, and that's Trump. We'll be right back here with the Aldonzo and... Oh, wow. Yeah, talking about that, at the break, I had a dog sitting. I'm dog sitting tonight. So I got up and I went to get some water at the break and get some notes and everything. And then I hollered at Deez, hey, got to take the dog out. Give me a minute. And I came back and he's like, you got to take the what? You get a dog? I'm like, no. A friend of mine, her dog has terminal cancer. And I really like the dog. The dog likes me. And she wanted to go out for the night. My friend did. So she called me up. Can you watch the dog? I said, sure, watch the dog. Poor little pooch. Oh, I love that little thing to death. Miss Beans is her name. She's a sweet little thing. So anyway, Deez, that threw him off.
Little?
Well, she's big.
Yeah,
well,
I was going to say, she lives across the street from me. That ain't no little dog.
She's not little anymore, but it's one of those things to where, she's got one of those. I think she's got a tumor on her spleen, which is like what my old dog had. And when they get to that point, you're coming up on the end of the road. So God bless her. She just feeds her whatever she wants to eat whenever she wants to eat it. Why not? I mean, the dog's like 14. You know what I mean? So, take care of your animals. They take care of you. They're always there for you. Take care of your animals.
Cruel joke by nature is that animals have like a tenth of our lifespan, or at least domestic animals, I should say, dogs, cats, things like that.
Yeah, it is. It is, and I don't.
I mean, they become your kids, basically. I mean,
yeah, they look, they do, and they don't. They become.
Okay, well, I don't have kids, so.
Yeah, you don't have kids, and here's the thing: when people refer to their animals as kids, I really don't like that. Are they your companion? Are they your friend?
My cat pisses me off. I can lock him up in a room and not go to jail for it. So
yeah, but the kid's a different story.
Edge to the pets.
But no, that's one of those things. If you get a pet and you bring that pet in, you make the decision to do that. You should take care of that pet because you're their life. They rely on you. They become bonded with you. I mean, I just got a cat. I have 2 cats now, but the second one I got wanted nothing to do with me for like a week, just like every other female wants nothing to do with me.
Story of my life.
Right? Yeah, we got that in common. But after a couple days, she got accustomed to me, and then she started coming around, and then she started wanting lovings and attentions and patins, and now she's always on my lap every night while I'm sitting in the easy chair. Falling asleep. She's sitting right there. So anyway, they look for somebody to take care of them, and you become their lives. So yeah, take care of them. Don't put them out. And if they get sick, do what you can for them.
All right, there, Bob Barker.
Okay. Make sure and spay and neuter your pets. Anyway, so there's a couple. Look, this is news, but we're talking about Israel. We know that Israel has invaded Gaza. Okay, we know all this stuff's kicking off. Really not a lot of news other than what we knew was going on. Of course, it's pandemonium here in the States with this anti-Semitism that the likes of which has never been seen since Nazi Germany. Okay, it's absolutely disgusting. Yes, we know that. Of course, they're going into, one side of the story is Israel is bombing these hospitals and these children, but the truth of it is Hamas is setting up shop in these hospitals and using these people as human shields. I have a couple stories pulled up about it. I don't know if I'm actually, here comes that thing with New York Post. I was going to use this to reference it. Deez and I were talking about that.
Fox News has been heavy on that as well.
Yeah, they have. They absolutely
pop-ups
have.
for ad blockers, like literally comes up all the time.
Yeah, so we could beat this thing. Look, here's the thing. Most people know this. You're on the majority of the people, the clear-thinking people in America right now, and probably around the world, if you're not Arabic, okay, know that Israel's doing what they have to do. And when breaking news comes of this and they do something huge, we're going to cover it and talk about it. In that case, there's really been nothing except for the fact that for the first time, I believe it is, just this in the past couple weeks, Israel took down, I believe it was a missile from Lebanon. I think it was a Houthi missile. They took it out in space, which is 100 miles above the earth, which is the first time this has ever happened. So you want to talk about technological advancements, that's pretty cool. But the stuff going on, we got something about Justin Trudeau, something he said, which absolutely irked me. But there was a D.C. rally for Israel, okay? This happened in the past week. And there was 300 Jews that were going to this, and they got their bus tickets, and all the bus drivers staged an anti-protest, okay? And this was a flight that was chartered from Detroit. It was about 300 people on Dulles Airport tarmac, left them there for about 11 hours, and had to go back home. So these bus drivers heard about this and staged this massive sick day. Now, I got a question. What is a level of brainwash? Okay? Now, let's not assume that these bus drivers are Palestinian. Let's not assume they're Muslim, because a lot of these people that are this pro-Hamas, pro-Palestinian BS are not. They're Americans. Some of them are even Jews. I mean, talk about the level of mind screw there. They're so mad that Jewish or Jewish protesters want to go stage a protest in D.C. for the treatment of Israel by these Arabic nations. We're not taking the Jews there. I mean, when's the last time you've ever heard about an anti-protest from a group of bus drivers, okay, where they said, we're not taking these people to the protest. I don't even think we heard about that back in 2020 at the J6.
No.
This is a level of hatred for a group of human beings, the likes of which we, like I said, we haven't seen in over 80 years. We just have not seen. This is sickening. Now, Justin Trudeau, I'm just going to call him what he is. He's a freaking cuck, okay? He's a cuck. He's the most worthless, spineless piece of sticks I have ever seen in my life. I hate looking at him. I got a picture of him pulled up right now. I'm looking at him on the monitor. He's just such a little imbecile, there's words I want to use to describe Justin Trudeau, and I just can't do it. So on Tuesday, he urged Israel to stop the killing of women, children, of babies in Gaza. Now, I'm going to tell you something right off the bat. Israel is not killing women, children, and babies. That's what Hamas does, okay? Israel is trying to fight a war. Israel was attacked, and Hamas are a bunch of cowards that hide behind women and children. So what are you supposed to do? I got a question. If somebody breaks into your house, Deez, okay? Say 3 guys break in your house, and they kill your dad, they kill your girlfriend, they kill your cats, okay? And they run off, and you've got a gun.
Wait, my cats?
Yeah. No, kill everything.
Yeah,
they don't care. They kill them, and they kill and probably rape the cats too. It's Hamas. Who knows what they'll put it in? And they run out, and you got a gun, and you go after them. And they go back to their homes and hide behind their families. Are you not going to attack them?
Well, certainly.
Yeah, certainly. You're going to do whatever you can to stop this. And meanwhile, while you're contemplating shooting around their kids, they're still shooting at you and shooting at your remaining family members. So for this idiot to come on and say that Israel needs to stop killing women, children, and babies, all that's doing is fueling the anti-Semitism. I got an idea for you. How about this? How about we go back to 2005 when Israel gave Gaza to the Palestinians and said, nope, it's all yours. It's good. We're going to provide you electricity, food, water. We're going to provide you aid. We're going to provide you medical. We're going to help you rebuild. It's all yours. You can have it. And then for the next 15 years, all the Gaza Strip did, they voted in Hamas, who runs a government, does nothing but launch rockets at them. They took the water pipes that the UN paid for to bring running water to Gaza and cut them up to make rockets out of them. That's all they did, was just start launching rockets and terror attacks. And finally they come in, they go into these kibbutzes, and they kill all these innocent Israeli children and women and elderly people. And Israel goes, that's enough, you're done. We're going in there. Look, Palestinian civilians, get out of there. And then Hamas takes them and goes, oh, no, we use you as shields. No, you can't go. And if they try to get out of Gaza, they shoot them. They go to the hospitals. They find rockets at the hospitals. They find rockets under children's beds in Gaza. This is where they're hiding out. So that son of a bitch, Justin Trudeau, somebody should march him into the square and string him up. It's the Aldonzo and Deez show. Having a good time
Happy Saturday.
Here. We will be right back here on Cities 92.9, the news and talk of Bloomington Normal. Hey, welcome back to the Aldonzo and Deez show here on Cities 92.9, the news and talk of Bloomington Normal. I am, as always, Aldonzo.
I'm Deez.
Deez is hanging on to dear life right now.
Still hydrating, trying to flush the
toxins from your system.
Don't even know how many chemicals I put in my body last night.
You see, Deez, let me tell you something. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I am a temperance man. I lead a clean life.
Yeah.
Well,
we've met.
Yeah, we've met. We've partied. We've done that thing. You know what? It's going to be all right. At the end of the day, we're all going to come back. We're going to do a good shit. Well, maybe not you. I got to say, you seem to be getting better, but on the other hand, it's like, I don't know, man.
Yeah, I'm on the struggle bus, no doubt.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to take a break and just let you handle this whole segment.
I do have what is probably the most important breaking news of the entire year, if not decade.
Well, let's have it. What is it?
Snoop Dogg has announced that he is going to stop smoking weed.
You know what? I had that story down as well. I had that story. And before we get into that, I had a couple of things. We'll switch gears.
No, go ahead.
But let me get through this. There's a couple things real quick. And speaking of drugs, I got something. They got DNA on the coke from the White House. But real quick, this is what Justin Trudeau had to say this week. And I know I went off on a tangent about Mr. Trudeau, that POS earlier, but I wanted to get this out of the way and get my final thoughts on this. Roll clip.
The human tragedy that is unfolding in Gaza is heart-wrenching, especially the suffering we see in and around the Al-Shifa hospital. I have been clear that the price of justice cannot be the continued suffering of all Palestinian civilians. Even wars have rules. All innocent life is equal in worth, Israeli and Palestinian. I urge the government of Israel to exercise maximum restraint. The world is watching.
Yeah, the world is watching, okay. And you know what? The world was watching on October 7th when nobody on that side, Hamas, exercised maximum restraint, and nobody called for it. Nobody's called for maximum restraint. Nobody has called for Hamas to surrender. Have you noticed that? Nobody said, Hamas, just cash it in and get out of there. Just stop launching rockets at them. Not one damn person has said this. But, Israel needs to exercise maximum restraint. Screw them. Screw people that say that. Go in there, kick their ass, and do what you got to do to liberate the Palestinian people. I don't know how this came to light. With Hamas taking over, they voted them in. They run the government. But the bigwigs of Hamas are sitting in Qatar right now in high-rise apartments, drinking champagne, doing whatever the hell they want to do. We got 11,000 troops stationed mere miles away from there. Why are we allowing this to go on? Meanwhile, Israel has to exercise maximum restraint. Screw Justin Trudeau. I hope the conservatives take back over Canada, or some resemblance of a conservative, somebody in the middle, not just this Marxist leftist scumbag. Now, anyway, I wanted to get that out of my system. But you had a story about Snoop Dogg. Let's have it.
Well, it's not really much of a story.
No, but it is. I mean,
yeah.
If somebody would have said in 2023, we're talking pop culture. We're not talking in the world, because nukes could go off right now and it wouldn't surprise me. But what's the one thing that you wouldn't expect to hear in 2023? It would be this.
Snoop Dogg has given up weed. Basically, he just posted an image on X, and it's a picture of him, and it just says, "After much consideration and conversation with my family, I've decided to give up smoke. Please respect my privacy at this time. Signed, Snoop Dogg." So I'd be interested to know what this conversation was about. Because, I believe there was a brief time years ago where he tried to get out of it, but went back. I don't really expect anything to be different this time. Hell, he's got his own cannabis line that he sells. I don't know. It's just hard to imagine a world without Snoop Dogg getting high in it, I guess.
I agree, but you know what? On the things that make the news, I'm surprised. But then again, that is kind of an odd deal. I think that's a ploy. I think it's a joke. I don't think I stopped smoking and started doing edibles.
Yeah, it could lead to that. He might be getting ready to introduce a new line of edibles from his company if he hasn't already. But yeah, I saw that. I was like, wow, what's going on in Snoop's life that he decided I can't do this thing that I've been doing for close to 50 years, I would imagine, 40 years at best.
Well, talk about drugs. You want to go back to when they find the blow at the White House. Mm-hmm. Freedom of Information Act has just revealed that they have DNA evidence from that cocaine.
Really?
Yeah, the Secret Service has DNA evidence from that. All right.
And who, pray tell, does this DNA point to?
Well, they're not going to say. I mean, that's pretty much what it is. It may end up destroying it.
I did see the leaked pictures of it, and it's just a little bitty tiny Ziploc bag with like a gram of cocaine in it.
Yeah, the amount of cocaine that was in there, I mean, that's Hunter Biden's out of cocaine at that point.
Yeah. The picture that you see is this little, I mean, it's just a little tiny locker type thing. Almost looks like a post office box. Yeah. And my question is, was there anything else in the locker? Because the picture is just this little tiny bag of cocaine.
Probably a crack pipe and a rubber fist, if I had to guess. No, why not?
And a laptop.
Let's go out with a bang.
Right? But that's... to me, that makes it even stranger that it was just the bag of blow in there.
Like, why would they put the bag of blow in there? What would drive somebody to do that? Now, how stupid. Only Hunter Biden's that stupid. I'm sorry. I mean, the same guy that would leave his damn laptop with borderline kiddie porn and all this incriminating evidence that his family was bought out by foreign adversaries, he's the only one that would be stupid enough to leave blow inside a locker in the White House.
Although, to be fair, most cokeheads I know don't leave their stuff behind. Just saying.
All right. It's the El Donzo and D Show. Coming back for the second hour.